Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find out whether man is quicker than beast as Villese, playing as the Celts in red, takes on Mr. Yo, playing as the Berbers in blue. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings with all manner of billy goat and scout, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the matchup that we'll be watching today? Now, the Celts are a civilization built around their need for speed. Their lumberjacks work 15% faster, which is great because Celts need lots and lots of wood for their primary focus, which is siege. Their siege workshops work faster, Celtic siege units fire faster, and all siege workshop units can be upgraded to get extra HP. Now, coming back to the need for speed, Celtic infantry do move faster than normal starting in Feudal Age. Their castles and towers can be upgraded to attack faster, and their unique unit, the Woad Raider, is the second fastest infantry unit in the game, and one that comes with a good amount of HP and a pretty damn strong attack. Now, in order to feed a big, hungry, growing population, the Celts can actually convert and steal enemy herdables. Although, wait a second, I don't see any enemy herdables here, even if the enemy is standing right next to it. Now, taking a look at Villese's enemy in this game. Oh, might want to get your billy goat back underneath the town center. We are looking at Mr. Yo playing as the Berbers. It looked like he was about to trap his goat there for a second. A bit of a traffic jam. Stubborn goat. The Berbers, a civilization that pushes their players into the four welcoming arms or legs of cavalry. All Berber stable units are 15% cheaper in Castle, 20% cheaper in Imperial, which makes their Hussars super duper trash units. Their camel units can be upgraded to regenerate health. Their castles can be upgraded to work faster, both of which strongly benefit their first unique unit, the camel archer. This is a mounted archer unit that comes with a good amount of HP, great speed, and an attack bonus against cavalry archers. So not exactly something I'm expecting to see out of the Celts, but never say never. Now, starting in Castle Age, the Berbers can also train a second unique unit, the Genitor. Think of this as a mounted skirmisher that comes with more HP, less range, and does cost a little bit more food because, hey, you got to feed the horse as well. Now, to help your economy get up and running as soon as possible, Berber villagers, take a look at this. Their movement speed is 5% faster than a generic villager in the Dark Age, and then 10% faster after that. Those are the two civilizations as both players sit on lucky number 13 villager count. Why don't we take a look at the bases where they've spawned? Because I'm looking at the mini-map, and both of these bases seem pretty damn open to me with a few easy areas to wall off. So Mr. Yo, our Berber, easy to wall off in the north, but the south, completely open. Luckily for him, his primary gold, his primary stone, both of them in the rear position, does have a little bit more stone out to the side and two additional patches of gold to the front, both pretty exposed and both pretty damn far away from his town center as he pushes in a zebra. So we'll see how he decides to wall off his base. I'm assuming he's going to, just because it's Mr. Yo, and he likes to wall his bases off, sometimes even the long route. Now, this is not a terrible base for Villese, but also one that's pretty damn open. And unlike Mr. Yo, whose two primary resources are in the back, Villese's primary resources very much in the forward position. That being said, I guess as a token of their apology, the map gods have given him two forests off to the side, which means that he can easily wall off the back of his base. There's another forest here to the south that extends all the way to Terra Incognita, and I believe he's seen it with the vision on the one tree. Might want to just double check and verify that this is not a straggler tree here in the middle of nowhere. But the forward position of his base, take a look at this. A giant open chasm where the Berbers, with their ridiculously fast mounted units, might want to put on some pressure. Oh man, it's not the Celt who's teething some billy goats. It is our Berber. Although Mr. Yo, the gentleman, decides to not do anything with those two goats that he managed to convert to his cause. And let's take a look at where Villese's additional resources are. We saw the two patches of gold here while we were looking at these forests. Where is his extra stone? Out towards the front. So this is going to be very interesting to see how both of these players wall this off. I mean, again, Mr. Yo never one to shy away from big, long, juicy wall-offs. And Villese, with his two forward mineral patches, will they be used to form part of his wall-off, or will that expose them a little bit too much? We'll wait, and we will see as both players head up to Feudal Age. Mr. Yo, one less villager, which means that he is actually exactly, wow, Now, this is something we rarely see. Take a look at the clock. Mr. Yo is, I believe, exactly 25 seconds away or ahead of his opponent when it comes to going up to Feudal. And take a look at the idle time on the TCs for both players, 0-0. And yeah, that's 25 seconds away. So, wow, fantastic play out of both of them so far. Very fascinating. Not something we see every day where both players have 0 idle TC time. And the exact difference in going up to the age is 1 villager. And right as that, of course, happens, Mr. Yo evens up the villager count because he hit Feudal first. His town center frees up first. Let's see what the players are doing. Our Celt, our infantry siege civilization, going with an archery range, perhaps defensive. We'll see. Mr. Yo beginning a wall off. He says, forget this forward forest. I know it's big. I know it's thick, but I don't want to wall this entire thing off. I'm just going to create myself a little backwards. I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit of a wall off this way as well as he walls in his villagers. They do not want to be doing this right now. They want to be picking lemons. They do not want to be building houses and constructing palisades. Especially not when this wall off. I don't know that he'll be able to fit all his villagers here into gathering from the lemon bushes. In any event, it is our Celt putting on the aggression. Remember, we are in Feudal, which means that his units, his infantry units, move 15% faster than the generic infantry units, and a few defensive archers are out. Now, was I right about the defensive archery range? I was not. As the first archer moves across the map, 2 more are being trained. So Villese dumping a good amount of resources into some Feudal Age aggression here. Mr. Yo not training a single unit at the moment, going instead for upgrades, which honestly is probably the better move for the defensive player. You don't really need to train too many units at the moment. You do have the defender's advantage, which basically means your archers need to move 5 tiles to reinforce, whereas Villese's need to move, I don't even want to guess how many tiles this is. What is it, 60 tiles, 70 tiles to get at you? But Villese says, enough's enough. I see your archers. I don't have any skirmishers out yet. Begins training too. And until he does, there's no point in engaging into 2 enemy archers. Lots and lots of high ground, by the way, in the middle. Not that anyone here is the Tatars or the Georgians, but good to know when you're fighting where the hell the high ground is so that you can take a 25% attack bonus and a 25% damage reduction bonus. And yeah, Mr. Yo is just walling off. Has he seen actually this part? No, he hasn't. So he needs to explore this immediately. Otherwise, our Celt might rear end him in a surprise maneuver. Someone's deleting some structures. I heard something being destroyed. I'm assuming. Okay, yeah. It's the palisade walls around the berries. Now, a few archer units are patrolling the front of our Berber base. Both players sitting on 29 villagers apiece. Army count for our Celt more than double, almost triple. Right as I say that, just becomes double, but a first kill of the game, finally. 13.5 minutes into the game. A spearman pays for the aggression with his life. It looks like possibly another death upcoming. Yeah, this archer is definitely... Oh, look at Villese. Tuning out, not tuning out, zoning out that one unit particularly so that it doesn't die. And now we've got ourselves a battle of skirmishers. Mr. Yo's skirmisher falls first, and the kill count has been evened up. Holy moly, 15 minutes into the game, idle TC time is still 0. Holy moly. I mean, that's just freaking impressive. Another kill for Mr. Yo as he defends the forward opening gaping maw of his base here. But man, I am incredibly impressed. He's queued up a bunch of villagers. Villese's queued up a few villagers. This is just incredibly impressive gameplay out of both of them. Upgrades, units being trained, battles happening, villagers being trained, structures going up, resources being mined, farms being placed, and all while having 0 idle time on their TC. Holy moly. Identical villager count. That's what happens when you're just non-stop producing with 0 idle time. I mean, as long as the 0 idle time continues and they still, both of them can keep producing villagers, our economies are going to be identical in terms of size. In terms of resources collected, I see here that our Celt is a little bit ahead just because, again, their lumberjacks do jack lumber 15% faster. And even though the Berber villagers do move 10% faster, I guess that explains why the difference in resources collected isn't that significant. If it was any other civilization whose villagers were pretty generic, I'd imagine the difference in resources collected wouldn't be 300. It would probably be 500 or 600. More and more units being thrown into the meat grinder here. Both players sitting on mid 600 food. Both players getting the gold needed. Mr. Yo already has it. Our Celt still needs to mine a little bit more. He bought 100 food. He sold 100 wood. He balanced his economy, but it was not enough. Villese still needs a little bit of food. Gets it and is first to click up to castle. And now finally, we've got some idle time here for our town centers. Mr. Yo, 25 seconds. Villese, 3 seconds. As Mr. Yo now heads up to Castle Age. Not too bad, about 13, 14 seconds behind his opponent. Damn you, house. I did not get an invite to your housewarming party, says Villese as he pummels that house, lights it on fire. We'll see whether Mr. Yo allows this to happen, buys a bit of time, just picks off the spearmen. I love the use of these skirmishers to pick off the spearmen. There are literally no more spearmen here in the forward position, but there are more and more red dots heading across the minimap. I'm assuming it's a few reinforcing spearmen. There's one. There must be another one en route. There he is at the bottom left of our screen. But he's not going to find very many cavalry units to deal with. Now, the issue is for Mr. Yo to get his butt up to Castle Age, 12, 13, 14 seconds behind his opponent. He had to sell his stone, whereas our Celt still has 200 stone. So if he wants to boom economically, once he hits Castle Age, he's not going to have to buy any stone. Now, Mr. Yo can always buy stone. Of course, he's got 287 gold. But why the hell pay for something you get for free? He's buying wood now. Is our Berber continuing to train more and more skirmishers, which honestly is not a terrible thing. There is a structure being placed in the middle here, a stable. Now, an archery range, fine, in Feudal Age. Everyone wants to get an archery range. Everyone wants to put on pressure. Everyone wants to find wood lines where you can gun down villagers, or at least the very least poke them away so that they stop mining and jacking lumber. But stable? That might be for light cavalry because he knows he's playing Mr. Yo, and Mr. Yo loves to get his relics. We'll see what that's for. I don't really expect to see any heavy cavalry. Of course, right as I open my big fat mouth, 3 knights appear to be trained. Let's see what he can do with these 3 knights, because there are already Berber knights. Now remember, these Berber units are 15% cheaper out of the stable. Anything and everything is 15% cheaper that comes out of that stable for our Berber player in blue, who now outnumbers his opponent by 1 extra knight. Now, Scorpions is a very bold choice when you see your opponent has knights out on the field. That is a very, very bold choice. What isn't a bold choice is the monk, who disengages? Why did he disengage that? I guess he wouldn't have really caught up with those knights in any event. Scorpion's gonna have a nice meal of archer units in a second. Not a Roman Scorpion, doesn't benefit from ballistics, but does he need to when the units are this clumped? Looks like our Celt is chasing in. He wants to get a few of these Feudal Age units, does not want to deal with crossbows, doesn't want to deal with elite skirmishers. Scorpion derping out right as these knights hit the palisade. Okay, interesting. So he's choosing to repair the palisade. Is 1 villager enough? 190, 180, 170. It looks like 1 villager might... No, 160. It just barely... He needs to add a second villager, or he needs to build a house behind that. Otherwise, those knights are going to absolutely insert themselves into the base. And Villese housed, finding no damage, no ability to penetrate this. Like I said, this gaping maw in front of Mr. Yo's base that will just swallow his units whole, decides to destroy an enemy offending house. Because we saw he did not get an invite to the housewarming party. And a house goes down at the last second here. It either goes up in the last second. There's a palisade here that's being burned down, though. Does he notice? Yeah, he notices. But again, 1 villager may not be enough. And Mr. Yo says, okay, enough's enough. No one notices no one here. And a very, very lucky monk makes it back into the settlement in the rear position. Now Celts, they have pikemen. And they are pushing in a mangonel as well. So I don't know what to call this. A siege, monk, infantry, cavalry rush? A smick? Siege, monk, and yeah, a smick rush? That sounds fairly dirty. Oh my god! Our Celt has managed to convert one of these Berber knights. Pays the price though. Not a bad price to pay, to be honest. Oh my god, and he turns on his brothers. Will he get the kill? Will he get it? Oh, I think he could have stuck around. Oh, maybe he's doing this on purpose. Maybe he's going to turn around on the high ground here. All he needs to do is just one swipe, and oh no! What the hell happened there? Oh my god. When's the last time we saw a single skirmisher kill the horse? That's a lot of blood that came out of that unit. I mean, in picture, I tried to zoom in on units when they die, but I did not notice that there's that much blood coming out. I guess there's a horse there as well. In any event, the battle to the front continues to rage as this one lonely Berber knight controls the center of the map. But again, our Celt is just not finding any way to penetrate this. Now, what he is doing is keeping Mr. Yo pushed back, contained, and he's starting to go at the town center here. But oh, Mr. Yo deletes one of his own palisades, but there's a monk, there's a pikeman. What the hell did I just see? Did something just happen? Did those pikemen just disappear off the map? What was that? I feel like those pikemen disappeared for a brief shiny second. Weird happenings here in Age of Empires with its code from the last century. And this is exactly what Villese needs to do. He's keeping Mr. Yo pinned back. No really good placements for a town center. Maybe over here to get a little bit more wood. Definitely nothing here with this hill. While he himself, second town center, third town center. And by the way, the second or whatever, third, doesn't matter which one, very aggressively placed with these pikemen to defend. So I love the use of the pikemen in the rear position there to defend. Archers from the Feudal Age get themselves a monk. But our Berber has to be careful. These units are cheaper, but they are not cheap, period. They are not free. I still want to know what the hell happened here. To my eyes, it looked like those pikemen disappeared and reappeared in a different location. Maybe we've got a Star Trek teleportation mechanic being added into the game. And our Celt double the army count of our Berber. He is now 7 villagers ahead, even though they were keeping a pace of one another pretty damn well. And of course, I open my big mouth and I say, this is a good location for a town center. So what does Mr. Yo do? He builds the town center right over here. Now, I don't know that this is necessarily the best. I get it, you're close to stone, but I think, okay, he agrees with me. Just the timing, I guess, was a little different. So, pressure continuing here. Just to highlight the difference, seconds between attack 4.8, seconds between attack 6. Just goes to show you that quicker firing Celtic siege unit. Light cavalry trying to snipe the mangonel, but the villager is repairing it, even though he's hammering at a whole bunch of nothing here. He is technically repairing it. Our Berber is moving out. Okay, I thought with 2 mangonels for sure, but he doesn't want to engage here. He pulls forward, he pulls back. 0 relics apiece. Mr. Yo is being kept from doing what he loves to do, which is start to get relics, get out on the map, multi-pronged attack. Villese doing an amazing job. One thing I would ask him to do with one of these villagers, place an outpost here, place an outpost here. You've seen your opponent's base. You know he's knocked into this corner. You need to explore. You need to look at the back of this base just to make sure there's no areas that he can escape from. Oh, and a Celtic mangonel does end up falling, and second one will fall. No, never mind. I mean, that should have taken out the mangonel. Why didn't it take out the mangonel? Maybe he was being repaired at the same time. Villese just needs eyeballs. Again, an outpost over here, an outpost over here, and you have seen the entirety of your opponent's map. I mean, hell, put the outpost right here. What's he gonna do? Nothing, because he is focused here on the front. Mr. Yo discovers the additional town center, but now there's a bunch of quicker moving Celtic pikemen on the hunt. Looks like, was that an attack round there? As a carpet appears out of nowhere. Looks like a mangonel for our Berber did go down in a castle in an interestingly defensive-ish location. I mean, this is very far. Now, other players probably would have deleted these 2 farms or these two farms and gone for the castle right here to push Villese way back from his opening of the base. And speaking of opening of the base, this is open, and all of a sudden 3 knights and 2 light cavalry stream in here. They already have 10 kills, 11. 3 villagers are dying. Oh, and the villagers escape. The knight doesn't know what to do. He's looking left, he's looking right. His AI is derping out all over the place. Oh, no. This is the worst thing that could have happened to Villese. Now, all of a sudden, his forward attack, he's retreating into the safety of these alleys created by these houses. We'll keep an eye on Mr. Yo's attack with picture-in-picture, but Villese here, oh, the light cav maneuvering, showing us the mobility, rather. Oh, no! Villese, where did you go? Oh my god, amazing footwork, amazing micro out of these light cap for Mr. Yo, just absolutely epic. We've got camel archers out. Why camel archers and why not just genitors if you're seeing a whole bunch of pikemen? But I'm not gonna complain. I don't think camel archers come with any kind of bonus at this point that's relevant here. No, just the cav archer bonus, and there's that Ethiopian cavalry resistance bonus. Okay, Villese says, I don't want that to happen again. Plugs up the hole, puts down a town center. He did lose 9 villagers on the whole. Looks like a few in the forward position as well. But Mr. Yo doing what Mr. Yo loves to do and always somehow seems to do, which is hold the line, push back the forward aggression, and then start streaming out on his own. We've got 1 Celtic relic, but it is perfectly placed for Mr. Yo to take it. That being said, a bunch of pikemen are out, and Villese is heading up to Imperial. We saw him do this the last matchup a few days ago. It bit him hard in the ass. Now he is going up to 5 town centers. Does he think he can call a first crusade here? Camel archers need to be microed. Mr. Yo has a good amount of food. He still needs another 300 gold to be able to head up to the next age. His camel archers are not really getting that much done here against these pikemen as they continue to chase. And what's coming forward? No, you're not coming forward. You with your 2 kills are just on patrol move. This knight with 6 kills. How many villagers? 2 villagers. And the micro battle begins. Mr. Yo is now also heading up. Unfortunately for him, he clicked up to Imperial right as our Celt hits Imperial, and 7 woad raiders are in this castle as a big fat trebuchet. Now the good news for Villese, he's got the high ground as well, which means this castle is in a very, very serious amount of trouble here. Camel archers continuing to dip, dive, dodge, duck, and dodge. And that is just amazing footwork out of our Berber. I mean, the maneuver here to encircle the pikemen, to get them out of position, to get the 1 monk, and then pretend like he was retreating so that the pikemen moved out of the way, and then he got the 2nd monk. That was just absolutely epic. The camel archers now are back. They don't know there's a town center here, though. Oh, they're going after the 1 weak palisade. Build a house behind it. Oh, he's repairing it. Okay, good move there by Villese. I thought he was going to build a house just to give himself a bit more space away from these camel archers, but no, they move in. But he manages to get a good amount of wall up, 1500 HP before Mr. Yo notices. And where is Mr. Yo going? I mean, his base is completely open to the north. He's clearing up the forward position here, placing a whole bunch of obstructionary houses. Is obstructionary a word? Obstructive, maybe? Okay, I thought it was for something a lot cooler. Instead, they're just kind of having a Bohemian Grove moment here, where they're all just kind of hanging out in the woods, burning the Owl of Minerva. Uh-oh, 2 villagers. Is Mr. Yo gonna notice? Is Mr. Yo gonna notice? Of course he notices. That's my gold, he says, as he guns down the last remaining forward position villagers. Plops down in Anchor Castle here to the southwest, southeast. Actually, it's not even southeast. Yeah, it's the southeast part of his base. Never mind. Now, this town center is pretty well defended. He is going ranged upgrades, whereas our Celt is going melee. So we really are going to have a man versus beast moment here. But oh no, woad raiders! What is attacking you? The castle has fallen. Now the town center is next. There's no fewer than 4 freaking trebuchets here. And the woad raiders are just going to have a field day. Mr. Yo is going to lose so many villagers. Villese getting his revenge for what Mr. Yo did to the south of his base. And by the way, I'm going to peel away once he gets rid of the last villager here. And down she goes. Look at what Villese is doing now. What the hell is this? Is there something behind this? No. Why is this? Why is this open? Is there a tree there? I mean, if there is a tree, you might want to still close that up. And no, now Mr. Yo's finding a bunch of exposed villagers. But I absolutely love this move out of Villese. You are dealing with a fast freaking mounted civilization. So why the hell do you want to expose yourself to raiding 2 monks and a relic? Walk into a bar. It is our Berber monk who gets the relic. And now Mysterio is going to have 2 relics to 0 as another Celtic monk bites the dust. Another Berber castle going up. And let's see how exactly our Celt plans on responding to this. For now, he is housed yet again. This time, though, not a bad population to be housed at. 160 compared to the 116 of your opponent. Okay, good luck getting the HP down on this unit with its 150 pierce armor. Halberdiers are out. But there's a good number of camel archers. They just need to kite away from these glorified pikemen, and it looks like all these halberdiers are going to die even with the quicker movement speed. So fantastic get there by Mysterio, but at the same time halberdiers are moving into the south. And what is our Celt doing? Not much. To the north, he's taking the stone that Mr. Yo tried to take. In the center, his trebs are wreaking absolute havoc, and FYI, all 4 of them are still here. But that's basically all she wrote for our Celt's forward position, with the exception of this castle. Elite woad raiders. Oh yeah, let's freaking go. Let's freaking see it. He's down to only 3. They're taking a bit of a breather here. Literally 12 HP being knocked down because there are 12 camel archers, each one doing a little tiny nick of damage. Now this is the better move here. The battering ram moving forward. Or is it a capped ram? No, it's a battering ram. The lingo, the lingo. And now a bombard cannon. So this Celtic forward position has been cleaned up, but look at this. We saw this yesterday with Hera's base. Look at how much damage our Celt has done, and unlike Hera, Mysterio's expansion to the sides of the map here, to the east and to the south, they seem a little lackluster, no? When Hera had his base knocked into, I mean, this entire area would have been filled up with town centers, infrastructure, villagers galore. And Villese housed yet again at 175, right as a few Berber light cavalry units come out to gun down these villagers. But halberdiers are here, and halberdiers are going to make very quick work of these light cavalry units. Oh, they're being so annoying here. He's going to have to garrison these villagers. Their town center is going to have to fire down upon them. And all of a sudden, the mini-map is just lighting up like crazy. We've got a random halberdier attacking a house. We've got bombard cannons trying to attack the castle, but it's on the high ground. And there are 4 villagers repairing it, and the woad raiders miss an opportunity to get the bombards, but they're going to get the ram. To the south, it looks like we've got a bit of a castle situation happening here, but all the blood on the dance floor tells me that these camel archers got all of the villagers. 48 kills for this group of 12. That is 4 kills to 1. Holy moly. I love to talk about having longevity of units. And there's nothing more longevity loving than 12 units that have almost, actually now they have 50 kills. Now this might be the very, very bane of our Berbers' existence, is the Celtic siege. Remember, the Celts can upgrade their siege units to have 40% more HP with Furor Celtica. Not an upgrade we see very, very frequently, but if researched, because our Berber's going archer play, and because siege units generally come with some pretty badass amounts of pierce armor, it might be very, very bad news bears here for our Berber, who for some reason puts a bunch of stables at the edge of the map, which these halberdiers are going to discover very, very quickly. Now Villese doing an interesting job clearing up the infrastructure here, but he's not really getting anything critical at the moment. He's got more villager kills. He's got fewer total kills. No surprise there with the camel archer just sticking around so long. And he is not stopping. He's up to 43 camel archers. But like I said, this is going to be absolutely terrible. 270 HP, 195 pierce armor. At this point, you just need to body block. Now, I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all. Why are you blocking yourself? This is just ridiculous. I mean, the bombards will, I think they come with a bonus against siege, yeah, but it's only plus 20. I don't know that this castle is going to survive, especially now when a whole bunch of woad raiders pop out of there. But where are they going? They're going after the bombards. They're going after the bombers. They are going to get the bombers very quickly. Upgrades, fully upgraded woad raiders, elite. Where are you going, Mr. Ram? Why are you attacking into the camel archers? Why are you attacking into the camel archers? Go and attack the castle. Yeah, the castle's going down. This, like I said, is going to be the absolute bane of our Berbers' existence right now. He is going to have to figure out, and there's Furor Celtica. You don't see it very often, but where is that ram? I'm going to click it in 10 seconds. Look at the HP jump and marvel at how redonkulous this HP is. Look at from 270, 378 on a ram with 195 pierce armor against an opponent that's gone full on camel archers. I mean, they're fighting tooth and nail over the last of the stone here. This is just ridiculous. It looks like our Celt now takes possession of the stone. This is a... This patch of stone is really passing hands left and right, left and right. Woad Raider moves in, helps his civilian population. This is... Keep in mind, this is a good amount of camel archers. 94 kills on 39 of them is basically a 3-to-1 ratio. And the Berbers are not without their cavalry that's at this point 20% cheaper. Siege engineers as well. For what exactly? I don't know. He's got rams. I guess with the rams. Where's that attack bonus here? Let's see a jump in 3, 2, 1. 240 instead of 220. So nah, I don't know if that was really worth it, but I mean, what the hell does our Berber do here? He can snipe halberdiers all the live long day, but these encroaching, beautiful, steel-laden rams are just gonna shred. I mean, look at the castle on the high ground. Still dies in a matter of seconds. Okay, a bit of a traffic jam. Confusing traffic jam there. That being said, our Berber is fighting back with trebs of his own. The problem is these rams can just go straight for those trebs unless he just body blocks. But if he body blocks, then the halberdiers will close the distance. Do Berbers get redemption? I'm wondering if he should just try to convert the rams at this point, Mysterio. He's got 600 gold. Okay, so now he's actually body blocking. Now he's pulling villagers, and the rams now have to get... I mean, even the villagers aren't that big of a threat to these rams. But keep in mind, while Mr. Yo's entire army is here, focused, our Celt is just free to do whatever the hell he wants out on the map. This is not his entire army. This is 6 rams that are keeping how many camel archers? 39 camel archers at bay. Now they have 130 kills. So while this is happening, our Celt is just free to expand and grow and build his settlement, and he is doing exactly that. He's at 200 population. Mr. Yo barely above 140. This is not good. And FYI, this castle is still here. Oh, the power of the high ground, the power of using 1 treb instead of 2. Why is Mr. Yo not using 2 trebs? Woad Raiders try to move in. Are these guys elite, by the way? I haven't checked. Yes, they are. Camel archers are elite. Now, I bet Mr. Yo wishes that the Berbers got Parthian tactics. He would be able to absolutely shred these halberdiers, take a better fight against the woads. But now he's finally adding a meat shield, but a meat shield is going to get gobbled up by these woad raiders so freaking quickly. But that, I guess, is the entire point of a meat shield. Woads, 6 kills so far. We'll keep an eye on them. More raiding to the back here. This castle is still standing. Is the world's most stubborn castle. Villese still has 150 stone. 3 trebuchets. Okay, 3 trebuchets might be a little bit too much, but oh my god. Yeah, 3 trebs might be a bit too much. It was 2,900. The next volley, 2,200. Now it should go down to what, 1,500 or so, 1,600. Yeah, so that castle is not long for this world as more and more Berber units are streaming out. Mr. Yo needs to save up. He needs to balance his economy, sell some wood, sell some stone, get yourself a hussar upgrade. Okay, next volley should absolutely demolish this castle. Well, they shouldn't even be spending stone at this point to repair it. There it goes. I mean, all that time repairing that castle could have probably been better spent getting some of this gold. Not that he needs the gold. He's got 1,500 gold. He's even getting guilds right now. He's that rich. Woad Raider continues to try to pick off some of these reinforcing light cavalry units, but he himself gets picked off as the map calms down for a hot second. More woad raiders moving in, but moving straight into a castle fire. Not ideal. Will they get the camel archer? Yes, they do. Holy shit. I mean, it doesn't look like a powerful unit, right? I mean, the woad raider looks like it should be pretty damn weak. Number one, it's got a wooden shield, which in Imperial Age, a wooden shield, I mean, come on. Number two, he's not wearing any armor. He's wearing some Gangs of New York, Bill the Butcher style candy striped pantaloons. And yet somehow it's just such a freaking tanky unit. That 85 HP, the armor, the attack, and another Berber castle falls for a player who is trying to build as many camel archers as possible. The loss of these castles is just irreplaceable, especially when you've only got 300 stone and are housed now at 155. That being said, our Celt just retreats. One ram will die. That's basically it, and in come these halberdiers. We'll see how much they can get done. What's happening here to the north? Outposts are being attacked. I love this never-ending stream. We saw it yesterday with MBL and his Hussars. Hera with his light cavalry. Now Villese is doing it with the woad raiders. I would love it if he clumped them up a little bit first and then sent them in, but let's see the real battle here to the front of the, I guess no longer the Berber base. Let's just say the center of the map. Body blocking houses are going up for our Berber who wants to stop these rams, but a few hastily constructed houses are gonna do jack diddly to those as the rams move forward. The rams move forward and by trebuchets. Oh no, they turn around. One last fuck you to that house by Mr. Yo's Treb as he loses the last of it. And oh man, he has one converted woad raider here in the center, trying his darndest to turn on his former teammates. But the camel archers are doing an amazing job. 184 kills. That's literally a 5-to-1 ratio. Holy shit, Mr. Yo is getting so much out of these camel archers. They're almost at 200 kills. They probably would be if he didn't lose a few of them. And remember, at 20% discounted, I believe these are the second cheapest light cavalry units in the game after the Kshatriyas Hussars, or I should say light cavalry in general, because you don't necessarily need to get Hussars with Kshatriyas, but I think they're the second cheapest light cavalry unit in the game. Let me know if I'm wrong. I think that's the case. I mean, look at the bottom, look at the mini-map. Look at this red line of dots just streaming across, never ending into the back of Mr. Yo's base, waiting for the right moment, for the opportune time to strike. 219, 220 kills. Literally a 6-to-1 ratio almost. And now it might be a 6-to-1, right? 180 and 36. Yeah, it's more than 6-to-1. I mean, Mr. Yo is just getting his money's worth here out of these camel archers. I'm thinking of the time when I went to a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet, and with my friends. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't an all-you-can-eat buffet. We have a restaurant called Montana's. I don't know why it's called Montana's. I don't think it has anything to do with the state of Montana. And they have once a year an all-you-can-eat ribs fest. And once my friends and I went, and we just ate, I mean, just plate after plate after plate of ribs until the point where the manager came out and was trying to distract us. Because the secret to a buffet, if you're not familiar, let me enlighten you in some fat economics. The secret to a buffet is eat quick and eat a lot, because the more time you have to digest, the more full you'll feel. So I think after the 6th or 7th plate of ribs, the manager came out and was trying to distract us by talking to us. Hey, you guys, no one's eating as much as you. Oh my god, Mr. Yo, why aren't you microing? I guess you're not microing because you're busy trying to find a way to stop these never-ending raids. A town center here is definitely not going to do it. You need to wall those villagers off. But anyway, the manager came out and was trying to distract us to fill us up. And honestly, it worked, because after he left, we only had 1 or 2 extra plates. And then we were like, okay, now we're full. But I remember very specifically telling him, I mean, like, I appreciate you're the manager. I know you're we're basically like pigs at a trough right now, but I want to get my money's worth, and I want to eat as much as I possibly can. And eat I did. I felt sick for 2 days afterwards, but it was like it was like feeling sick after, you know, you run a marathon and the next day your body is killing and your muscles are aching. Except this is not a marathon. This is like a slob marathon, like a pig marathon. 184 kills for these 35. So a few of them have died. All the villagers here are no longer here. They are no longer building this town center, because of course not. You can't just risk villagers like this against the Celts, who are just gonna keep running around and trying to get you with their woad raiders. That being said, Villese is having a bit of trouble finishing this game off. I mean, he is score-wise about 5 to 10% better score. Maybe 5%, closer to 5%. Oh, huge bunch of death here to the north. But I feel like he's having a bit of trouble closing in. Mysterio is just not giving him an opportunity by keeping these camel archers alive for so long. Where are the rock throwers, the mangonels, the onagers? Where are they? He's got 800 gold. He can train a few onagers. Especially if he gets control of this gold, then he'll be able to maybe even upgrade them. I mean, a few mangonels. Maybe he'll be able to upgrade them to onagers with the gold that he collects here. For now, though, Mr. Yo doing an amazing job, just Byzantine style, clogging up the works with these cheaper trash units, these light cavalry units. Where are you going, Mr. Camel Archer? You're going up to the top of the hill and immediately dying. In any event, welcome to Cast of Empires, where in addition to watching Age of Empires and talking and chatting about Age of Empires, we learn about how to get your money's worth at a buffet so that you feel sick the next day. I'm sure some of you, if not many of you, have who just heard me talk about my buffet experience are probably shaking your heads in disgust, saying, "Oh my god, who is this guy?" Oh, just a guy who loves to eat ribs, especially when they're slathered with barbecue sauce. One day, when my son is old enough, we are going to do a tour. It's going to start with North Carolina, then Kansas City, and then ending in Texas, of the 3 best barbecue places in the world. As the Rams move forward, and I honestly, again, don't know what the hell Mr. Yo can do here. These Rams are just not dying. And he just fills them up with halberdiers. He's got 80 halberdiers on the way. Will the Ram get at least one poke off? It gets one poke off. A little bit of 175 HP knocked down. Oh my god, the Ram's attacking a light cav. I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love this silliness here. Looks like the town center was canceled or destroyed. Mysterio's got 99 stone, so I don't really know which is which. And holy shit, okay, I thought this was the woad raider from like a million years ago, but no, it's a fresh woad raider. And there's still all of these different raids happening. This stable 1 of 2 is still left up here. Mr. Yo is just being as annoying as possible, but wave after wave after wave of siege rams is going to absolutely knock him on his ass at some point. Because Villese is playing this just about as perfectly as he can. He puts the halbs in the rams. If the camel archers move a little bit too close, he just ungarrisons the rams, pushes the camel archers back, which leaves his rams free to get this castle down. And I think once this castle goes down, the last of it, the last of the castles, I don't know that Mr. Yo can really continue this game with just light cavalry units. Like I said, in hindsight, of course, 50-50 maybe would have been better to get a few Genitors. Remember, they were buffed recently alongside the Skirmisher. They come with a plus, not a +1, but a 1 larger attack bonus against spearman units. And Villese finally cracks this nut like an otter who finds some kind of rock, and they love just smashing it against other rocks until they finally crack. Villese finally cracks the Mr. Yo rock here with the last remaining castle, and with this absolute crazy never-ending siege push. That being said, Mr. Yo gave as good as he got. Look at the frickin' kill count. 300 more kills than his opponent. 838 to 530. And in all, basically all due to these camel archers. 168 kills here, 77 kills here. So what is that? 168 and 77. Oh my goodness. 243? I don't even know. 177. No, wait a second. 177, 168. No, 145. 145. My bad. Oh man, would my parents be disappointed? In any event, 245. What am I saying? 145. 245, right? I think so. Anyway, the math is irrelevant. The point is, look at Mr. Yo. He did not go down without a fight. And our Celt, with so much infrastructure. I mean, how many barracks did he have? Ah, my goodness, 19 barracks. So he's training his units out of a generic structure. How many siege workshops, by the way? Six of them. Mr. Yo's reliant on castles, which is his big weakness whenever you go, or not his big, just a big weakness whenever you decide to mass your unique unit. You need castles to do so, and ultimately just this persistence out of Villese knocks Mr. Yo down, and holy moly, was that a tough nut to crack. 557 halbs, only 228 light cav. I'm surprised it's that little, or that few. PKPM for Mr. Yo. Oh, interesting. Usually it's at the 42nd mark of the game. Now it's right towards the end at 1:04 to 1:30. This is literally right before. This is literally less than a minute ago. Peak APM for Villese, who is attacking, I guess, in multiple fronts here. I'm surprised he let this stable stay up for as long as he did. How many kills on the woad? Now 13. We saw him when he had one, when he was a fresh young pup. Now he's a grizzled veteran with 13 kills. Wow, 13 really the number of the day here. Let's take a look at the stats. Economically, this is what happens when you pin your opponent back for basically the duration of the entire game. Our Celt, like I said, free to just build up that economy. 18,000 more wood, 20,000 more food, 4,000 more gold, and just barely a little bit less stone. Although Mr. Yo did come with 3,000. If you take out the 3,000 from the gold, our Celt mined 7,000 more gold than his opponent, which is bonkers. I don't think conversions really played. Yeah, less than 1%, 7 out of 747. Wow. Caspa going, okay, so did he get Magrebi camels? Yeah, I see it here. Magrebi camels, stronghold. Oh, it's a shame that our Celt didn't have any castles in the forward position except for that one that was on this hill that just, I mean, how stubborn was that castle? I might just title this thumbnail Stubborn, because both of these players just refusing, one refusing to let go of a castle, one refusing to let go of the game. But I really would have loved to see the aura effect of the stronghold castle come into play, especially since he went full on infantry. And ultimately, though, he just kept Mr. Yo pinned back. I think Mr. Yo raided once with those knights at like what, the 36-minute mark of the game. And since then, he's just been on the back foot. I mean, if you want to call the raid what he did over here raiding, fine. And ultimately, the most important part of the game, the last remaining stone ends in the Berbers' hands for all the good that it did him. He did ultimately decide to tap out, and it is Villese, our stubborn otter, who keeps hitting the rock again and again and again and again against, I guess, a bigger rock, who finally manages to crack the Caspa augmented castles here and on a hill as well. So he was fighting from downhill, which could explain why it took so long to take that castle down. There were a bunch of castles on high ground that Villese had a bit of trouble attacking into, but ultimately just, I mean, 19 barracks, 6 siege workshops are what won him this game, and he just had the freedom. He didn't even, the funny part is he didn't even need to do this. Okay, I'm glad he at least managed to get this all the way to the edge of the map, whereas before there was a hole here. He didn't even need to do this. Mr. Yo wasn't raiding at all, which is, you can see, because look, there's nothing, there's no defense, anything here. There's no castles. There's a few town centers where villagers can run to, but not much else. And why would there be when you're the one putting on all the pressure, all the aggression on your opponent? It's up to your opponent to respawn. And look at this. Mr. Yo says, I've had enough of your freaking woad raiders showing up to the back of my base. So I'm just going to wall this off with a bunch of houses. And if you try to attack those houses, I'm going to respond. But you are not going to shock me anymore, even though he ends the game with 4 relics, which I think he took one from here, the forward position. What an absolute epic game out of both players. Mysterio just putting up such a fight and refusing to tap out, and Villese refusing to quit. Just again, persevering, stubborn, whatever the hell you want to call it. It is our Celt Villese in red who takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.